Here we go. But yeah, so it's kind of an interesting one, with teams like that kind of come out and it seems like a no brainer. You're like, yeah, that is a good team. Why would we be surprised that team, is happening? But like Dashon Chewy, it was taking something premium. The Qui-Gon team was really catching people out.
Yep.
Everybody I was up against, if they didn't GL it, they were really struggling to get that down. That was a 3 or 4 shotter in most cases.
I think it was solo base on my second round of last week that in the chat like turned me on to Newt Django B1 for that, and I tried that on round 3. That was a 56. Like it was super super cool. You already have to have him at Relic 7, right, Newt? And if you have him with the health primary on the circle at 6E, because some people
Everything
don't
is
keep him with
proceeding
like
as I
a
had
high health pool
foreseen.
deliberately to trigger him to die easier when you're using him with GG, like in fives.
Yeah, yeah.
But here you actually want him to have the 6 dot health primary because in the ideal circumstance he does survive the opening AOE from JKA, but if he doesn't, obviously you get that second life. But it is possible to still lose him after that, and that's where modding will definitely be key. But it feels pretty safe for handling it, man. I was very impressed, and people are figuring out. I was looking at my own history. People are figuring out how to deal with Newt Django B1 on defense in ways that are too cost effective for me to be comfortable with.
My volume's low, Cal. Is that what you're saying? I'll turn that up a touch. Yeah. So yeah. The Newt Django B1 you were talking about it. That was kind of like turned out to be the real solver for the Qui-Gon Omi, and I think that's pretty fantastic little find.
With JK and Cam, like the
Yeah.
super premium.
Exactly. Like weirdly enough, you would think that they would have a little bit more trouble with a taunt there specifically, but not really. Like
Mm-hmm.
the idea that you can just get at Qui-Gon just very very easily with that team, and Django's doing serious dings. That kind of puts it in a really good spot in terms of trying to clean up, the mess that would be made of trying to get in there. Task loud, Yeti quiet. All right, Kel, I'm turning myself up. Or I can just move my microphone closer because there's that. How's that? Yeah, it worked against Qui-Gon, GK, and JKA as well. Roger that. Yeah, everyone always be saying I'm loud. Usually people are call mine as a shoutcast, but I'm not drunk right now, so that's probably why it's not. Yeah, the Newt Dispel on the tank is clutch. Yeah, 100% low. So I think that team has a lot of ways to solve all of the unique problems that Qui-Gon Zomi causes, and it's kind of interesting watching the stuff that was failing on that. I know that like my opponent sent in the last round. Let me just double check that he sent 3 teams at that to get it down, and he didn't.
Nice.
Yeah, and they were pretty good teams as well. I'm just gonna try to get to my.
It really is. Mary J. Threes is a different ballpark. It really does feel like a different game in some ways. The way that you trick characters out with mods to make them play differently against their expected counters. That is what really defines threes more than fives. Like there's always like an exactly right meta answer in fives for something.
Yeah,
There might be a couple different ways to do it, but you know what I'm saying. Like whereas in threes, there'll be a few different ways to counter a team, but there's only going to be one that's going to be quote unquote budget. And if you just lean into modding against that, man, that is just brutal. I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, if you want to talk about like where, how do you want to approach this? Do you want to talk about like defensive teams or offensive teams first? Like, how do you want to tackle it?
Honestly, it's like with chat here making it nice and organic. I figure we just kind of go with what's being talked about and move along with that. Like with the Qui-Gon
Sure.
team, the ones that I was talking about that failed. The guy took his gas at it and failed,
Oh my
and he
god.
didn't kill
Gas,
anything.
gas with what?
He took gas with Arc and Echo, and he didn't kill a single character because Mace kept getting in front of him. So he kept just re-killing Mace, and then he Then he got smoked, and then he sent in his Bad Batch and finally killed Qui-Gon, but then lost his team. and and then he went with 3 Inquisitors that were all Relic 8, and finally beat
God.
Anakin and Mace, which were probably causing him to scream at his phone. Yeah, it was pretty pretty brutal. Yeah,
I
super
believe it.
pricey. Um, Loso says he was trying Maul Candy Watt versus EP Starkiller Mara the first 2 rounds. Your Candy's low relic though and trash mods. You can kill Mara and EP, but hard to finish off Starkiller. Interesting. That's not a really expensive counter when you really think about it. Because I mean, Maul's a premium character with a premium team, but if you could potentially, if you had like a high relic Candy and you could potentially get the damage right, that could, to whereas you can actually kill Starkiller, that could be pretty good. Because when you do the push on Mara, and that's going to stop all that fun hijinks she does, and then she's dead because you just put, but there's no Kenobi, so you won't get the cooldown increase right off the bat. So you have to do like the AOE, but Candy's going to set you off, and then Candy sets you off, and then you get your 5, correct?
Well, see, that's the thing. What I've come to figure out is that unless you have 2 other Mandalorians there with Maul, the only one to stack that turn meter from the dot is Canderous himself.
Yeah.
And there isn't a dot that goes on from Maul's middle, right?
Yeah.
So what it is that when Canderous gets called off that, his first basic will apply the dot, and then his next 2 attacks will hit into that. So he'll gain like at most 16% turn meter from that, right?
Yeah,
which means that he has to be modded like a lot faster to be able to go effectively right after, like right when you want him to.
Yeah, but if you do the Watt basic though, it'll get you 2 dots on the board. But are they only from Mandos though?
Watt's basic, like the one that applies dots, occurs whenever any character who has a tech uses a special ability.
Okay, so it's not actually off the normal basic. Okay, yeah, that's
right. Because his basic, if you do basic on Watt's own turn, that's the one that applies the healing up, right?
Yeah. That's what. That was one of those things where I was thinking that both were occurring because it's usually something you notice, like when you're doing it, like C-Pit or something, where you're like, oh yeah, they're the dots,
Yeah, BB Loso in the chat saying Canderous has been bugged for a long time. You get more turn meter than that. A 250 speed Candy is plenty. So how does that work then? What's the actual TM game? Like, clue me into this. It seems like it's something I probably should have known already.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Candy got an absurd amount of TM. I just didn't know how much, and I wasn't like, it was one of those things that I just took for granted. So it's not something that I like. Oh yeah, I know the way
for sure.
Especially when Candy became kind of useful is when I was gone, right? Like when I was out for 4 months. That's when like the whole Maul and Vader thing was going on, and then and all of a sudden Candy has all these uses, and I come back and it's like I know what his kit relatively is. It's just I just don't know like the intricacies of that.
I mean, Mary J's saying that he recalls it's not something calculated because it's an actual bug. It's something not working as intended. So what are we talking about? Like the basic also gives him that 8% turn meter as if there was already a dot there. Like, so he gets the full 24% or what?
That sounds about right. It probably is along the lines of he gets the max turn meter every time he takes his basic, which would be pretty bloody handy in this case.
Shocking if true.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. But if you can burn Mara like right off the bat, I mean that's a fantastic 2-tap because Starkiller by himself you should be able to take down relatively easy with a bunch of teams. That are going to be able to go in there and do a lot of damage right off the bat, right?
Yep. Oh, if you're not already doing it, guys, if you're using Aura Lead in 3s, I really suggest like protection primaries. I actually forgot to make that change. And it was something that I came to appreciate over the course of the first week. Because I was just thinking about, how are you going about like multi-shotting something? Because I'm sure the same is mostly true for you, Yeti. Uh, where you're at, most people are playing with a big roster, so they're
Yeah.
trying to go for efficiency. So you don't get to really plan on doing a lot of two shots in threes. Um, and a situation where I had to was at the last round of this, first week. I had to pick apart a Ray Armor Zalbar,
And I'll tell you what,
and
that
it
was pretty
was,
fucking exciting. That was
dude,
pretty fucking exciting.
that was crazy, man. It took a while. It was awesome. It was fun, super fun. In the end, like the rush, man, from the end of that. But anyway, like the key there was actually killing the armor pretty early, and my Zam didn't survive. It was by the absolute skin of my ass because they killed Mando. He was on his last life. We got a turn with grief that we got to put our buff back on Mando. Then he got his turn, and I was able to snipe armor. So it's just complete lucky. And I don't need damage from Aura, so I should have built her tankier.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're talking a good point there. It's like, what are you trying to get from the character? There, it's all about trying to get your Mando to proc early, so you can delete whatever the problem character is. So it makes sense to just make it so that if we can keep her basically standing as long as possible.
Yep.
Okay. Mary J says Gildy helped him with the candy scenario. He goes, the bug is the gains. Whatever turn meter it says is unique every time an enemy is damaged instead of every dot on the enemy. So it's down to total hits, not dots, which is
The
a
way the
lot.
ability, the way the text reads is that whenever any ally hits an enemy that has a dot, Canderous gains 8% turn meter, and that's including himself. But he's the only one that's going to be assisting off of Maul's middle, so it's at most 3 attacks, unless I'm missing something. So you say 250 is enough speed, guys. 250 divided by what? So 24, so 76 divided by...
Yeah. So he said, yeah, I believe it's 24%.
I need to do that. 250 divided by 0.76 is effectively 328. I like that. I
Yeah.
mean, that seems pretty damn fast.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty solid. So if you've got a decently fast candy, if you've got him up at around 270 or something, you're getting in front of pretty much most.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's just 250 with assuming 24% turn meter gain. If it indeed works like that, that's slick, guys. I'll check that out because, yeah, I noticed that when I was setting it on defense for week 1, just having, the normal, absolutely miserable, like 180 something speed Canderous, it isn't cutting the mustard, guys. I mean, like Speed Droidica was going off first, right? Everything
Yeah.
was going according to plan, and then Canderous just never got that next turn. So Maul's just standing there.
He just never got the turn. Yeah,
Yep.
so it seems like that's probably a good solution and something to think about for your modding for next week.
Good
And
call, guys.
yeah,
That's
if you
good.
haven't done that, is getting candy pretty quick. If you can get him up to, God, I want to say if you can get a decent like offense and speed set or something, like speed set, and you get him up to like what 260, 270, you're getting in front of pretty much everything with that 24% turn meter. That's going to put you up at around 370.
I would definitely do this with a speed set, right? Like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
another situation where like put him in offense primaries, like try and find
Yeah,
offense
yeah.
secondaries and stuff. Like give him a chance to do damage. But like
But
who
that,
are you gonna have to rob to push him up into the 270s in an offense set?
yeah, and you don't really need him to do the offense because Maul's doing the offense. So
Exactly
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So
Just give him the right primaries.
yeah. So it's one of those like if you give him the right primaries, I think you're right on that. But you get a decent speed set. It doesn't even have to be a great speed set. We're talking 100 speed on Candy is going to have him at 250. So if you get 120 on him or something like that, like that's and that's pretty achievable, especially with some of the people in chat's mods that I know. So, and you can pull mods probably just sitting in your thing and giving them about plus 100 and 120 ish. And like I said,
No
that
doubt.
that takes you up to about to that 270, which is going to put you just into the stratosphere for getting that turn meter going there. So
For sure.
yeah, so I think that's probably a really good move, and that's something that it's like it's too bad locks already happened, but
Yeah.
I was just looking at my candy like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, so I wonder. I think I calculated earlier that my Droideka is effectively like 355. So in order to make him 354, what would he have? I'm curious, what would that mean for Canderous? So divided by 0.76, 355. Wow. So the answer I think is 269. No joke.
Yeah, so
269
there you
divided by
go.
0.76. 353. 350. So okay. So the closest you can come. So I might as well like try to add one more speed onto Droideka then, because yeah, no, 270 on the nose would put him at 355. So
Yeah,
that is just fantastic. Actually, that's fine. I don't care which one of them goes first. One can go, then the other.
you're like
Actually, no,
that's
no,
good.
that's wrong. We do want Droideka to go first. Haha.
Yeah, so that's kind of a funny one to kind of have that kind of come out here. It's something we're thinking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean
Thanks, guys.
that's a pretty solid counter. Another shocking one that chat had to get on me to try. They tried to get me to do it the first round, and I didn't. Second round, I did. Was gas with arc and echo can be wamped, and so that was I was like I don't see there's got to be too much damage there, and so I tried it and it worked just fine in on round two. And then my opponent in round three, because I kept setting Gas Arc Echo thinking they won't know about the Wampaing yet. My opponent in round three tried to Wampa and lost against mine.
So, what was the difference between those two opponents' Wampas? Because I wonder if that's like an effect of people skewing for higher health in threes and just intending to never use Wampa against an Iden team if they see it.
Well, let me check because I can look at my opponent's because it was my Wampa, which is high tenacity with like 95,000 health. But
Pretty, yeah,
I
that's pretty
took
damn good.
down a relic 9 gas with a relic with relic 8 arc and echo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this just works. Like I was like this I'll never be setting gas arc and echo next week because this
Yeah,
just
man.
works. So I didn't expect my opponent to know it, and then he tried it against mine and failed. And I don't think my gas is particularly crazily well modded. It has tons of protection, so I think maybe that drew the fight out too long, and maybe he caught up on Wampa or something. Wampa couldn't stack, and he was getting his health reduced, perhaps. I don't know how it went wrong, but it just went wrong for him. So let me go look up his Wampa and see what he's looking at here, because that fail was really surprising to me.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting. He has low tenacity and low health. Well, lower health than mine, even though it's a relic 8. He's got a relic 8 Wampa. So I'm assuming what happened is I bet you my gas stood up and hit him with daze, and I think that daze would have ended the battle right there.
But wouldn't he have taken already so many, little taps from the side tunes that he should have already had enough tenacity to not get dazed?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. How did it?
How much tenacity are we talking?
Yeah. So his tenacity is like 70% on the Wampa that he used.
Does he have Does he have modded for protection?
His Wampa.
Yeah,
He has crit avoid, health, tenacity. So he would have been, yeah. So he's got
but no
two health.
protection primary.
Yeah, two health, one crit avoid, and tenacity on his health sets, essentially. Yeah,
Because
Northern. That's what I
yeah,
was
Northern
thinking.
pointing out,
It
right?
shouldn't stick, but how did he lose that battle? Because it went so smooth for me. I was like, this is ridiculous, and I was going
Well,
against like a fully upped
so
team
the thing
essentially.
that comes to mind is that it's like once you don't have protection, anytime you're getting crit by gas, you're losing max health.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, if gas hits before Wampa goes, that's the end of the battle, essentially.
Well, for sure. Yeah, so we may well be seeing like you see on some crazy people in fives, like people going back in like the 300 speeds for gas.
Yeah, I was just thinking, that could be a thing as well, because I have my gas very fast. So
Mm.
so my General Skywalker has a lot of protection and a fair amount of speed. Let me go double check that so I can give you some of the numbers there. So yeah, I have like 280 speed on my General Skywalker, and plus he's got 120,000 protection. So and 10.5 thousand offense. So he's going to be doing some big dings. So
Dig
it's
it.
so it's kind of an interesting one. So now I'm sitting there going like, oh, so if you're just faster than Wampa with the gas thing, it doesn't, huh? Because yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one, Northern. I think that's pretty cool. 300, 310 speed gas. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. At least in terms of trying to stop Wampa. I think that it depends on what you've already invested in the team. Like for a lot of people that have a Relic 9 fives or Relic 9 gas or both,
Yeah,
uh, even that is a pretty sufficient deterrent if you're setting gas Rex 5s, which seems like the only comp you should be setting on defense
at this
if you're
point,
going to set
yes.
gas these days.
Yeah. Now I think that's where we're at. If you don't set
Yeah,
gas Rex fives, then you're taking gas on offense.
yeah.
Um, so it sort of becomes do you want to set a Rex fives team or do you want to set a gas team? Because then set Shock, Arc, and Echo, which isn't Dogwater. Exactly, yeah. Shock, Arc, and
Yeah,
Echo does
and
well. Um,
yeah, and the thing is with Shock Arc Echo, it is a good team. But I really love Shock. A lot of the times is like a tool with other teams, or like with JKL, GK, and her. With
yeah, on
JKL being
defense,
like
yeah.
super slow, man. So like I'm thinking about, what do you guys think about Padme Arc Echo as an attack team?
I was just about to say that. I think that can solve a lot of problems because there's damage there. There's assists. They've got dispels, and Padme's going to protect them. So if you take it against something that's going to be attacking out of turn, you're in a really good
Exactly.
position. Um,
But who is that? Who's the attacking out of turn that you're going to kick the crap out of with that?
well, we saw me use a pretty cheesy Padme team against two Omicrons on the week. Where the guy I swear to God, he had the Omicron on Akbar and on Princess Leia. So he set Akbar, Leia, and Cara Dune.
Oh, so I mean, how was that?
It went really smooth. It was pretty much as full banners as a Padme team can get. As they just kind of bounced off of. I had GK there, so I only lost banners on him, but they just bounced because I used my Padme to put the protection up, and it was from there it was over.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, Padme Mace Snips versus Iden's nice to see once. Yeah, so that does
Ooh.
work, but it also I've seen it fail. Um, Weirdly, or I think I did. Did I? Someone had that fail, didn't it? Hey, what's going on, KB? Pill says I messed up. I meant to swap my Nest and Wampa mods for threes, but forgot to relock roster. Your Nest mod Wamps is 95k health and 113% tenacity. Your Nest modded
Mm.
Wamps. How's it going, Wolfman? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up, Wolf?
So yeah, were there any kind of other teams that kind of surprised you that were doing good work?
Um, let's see, just both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, just anything that kind of struck you, like that.
So let me see here. I know. I think you and others were telling me about Dash L3 Vandor, and
Yeah,
did you watch me play that from front to back? Because either I really jacked it up, or I worry about its reliability because I did not win that.
I did not. I went to the gym after you'd started the battle, and then I saw you waited to break the ice, and I was like, all right, I gotta go. And then
Yeah, 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 yeah,
did
yeah.
it go? Did it go south after that?
Yes, it did not work. So I don't know that I like trying that one. I'll say.
So with that, what could have been the thing? Because I saw it happen.
Well,
I
so
saw
for what I
four
think it was,
victories. I know Calvin Awesome did it, and I watched that one go down. And then I recommended it in Wookiee Roars in their Shadowlands Guild Alliance chat, and a couple of people tried it, and it worked there. So the one difference could have been the speed of Dash versus Wampa, like if he was lapping him.
oh, I mean that was for sure happening because
Yeah.
my Wampa is like absolute wood, like absolute wood speed. We can't really be messing around with dazes because what
Yeah.
happened was I saved the slap for after he Dash took his second turn and put the daze down, and then after that, like I more or less because he lapped me, so I had the daze on me when by the next time it came up. So I was like, oh, well, I feel like I should really slap here if for no other reason to refresh my shield.
Yeah.
And then he just came right around and dazed again. It's like, okay, well, I guess I just can sit here and watch myself die then.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to count turns there, if you've got the days on you and you're trying to get around it, because it's like, from the sounds of it, had you waited a turn to do the slap, then
But I would have had to have done that at least twice, like after the first usage of that slap, right? I would have had to have timed that at least twice, which means there's going to be
you're gonna be taking some damage.
Yeah, right. And there's a window to get absolutely popped.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's unfortunate.
I mean, anyway, I said this at the time on the video. Like, I am open to the possibility that I misplayed that, but I didn't care for it. But like things that have surprised me, impressed me. I'm just looking at my spreadsheet real quick, see what jumps out at me.
Loso says
defensively. Sorry, go ahead.
Just going to say, he said he's tempted to try Huck's First Order TIE Pilot, Omi, and Red Trooper this week versus EP and Starkiller. I'd love to know how that goes. I'd love to know how that goes, because that could potentially work. I mean, Starkiller might just kill the team. Like, if you lose First Order TIE Pilot like right away, that could be really terrible. But there's no counterattacks. So Starkiller's not going to be countering. So you're free to use Red Trooper to blast. There's no TM gain for the Mara toss, which is really the big worry. And you've got tons of speed, so they're not going to be leaving you in your dust. You got the extra crit damage from Hux, the extra offense, and then the extra crit damage from First Order TIE Pilot. I mean, I like it. I think it could work.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's clever.
That's not something I was thinking of earlier, but I literally was about to pull the trigger on First Order TIE Pilot's Omi right before lock. Like, I was like, do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. So, because I have 3 Omis to spend, so I have 2 for Malgus for sure, and then at least I think he's going to need 2 to 3 to be effective against Galactic Legends. So I wanted to make sure to have some, but I was looking at him like, it's not like I'd have it to spare, but I feel like this is a strong Omicron for GAC in 5s better than 3s. Yo, Dylar, how's it going, baby? He's like, did I click on my UJIS bookmark? I think you might have, but you know what? It's okay. The more, the merrier.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Dylar.
How's it going, fella? How you doing? Yeah, Red's damage with First Order TIE Pilot will be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is going to be gross.
And that could be a really good use of that team, because right now, mostly that Hux Larry the Death Lobster team, it's not that great anymore. Like, it used to catch people out because, you didn't have tons of things that just whopped it. But now it kind of gets beat by everything. At least it feels like it does. Before it'd be like, ooh, my Hux team got another hold, and you're like, yeah. But like,
it's true.
Yeah. So that might be very, very, very cheap usage. I mean, I understand that Omicron's not cheap, but what I mean is the characters themselves, it's pretty cheap counter if you can get it to work.
I'd love to hear how that goes. I do have the Omicron. I have some plans for how I intend to test it. I might try that, but I'd also just love to see that data. I'll be looking for that on SWGoYeti for week 3 here.
Yeah, Loso. Yeah, you don't need to go first because Mara's gonna toss her stuff and get the tenacity down, and it doesn't matter because there's no TM gain for Palp. There's no TM gain for Mara. It's not. They're not doing anything. And then you should probably, based on how your Hux is probably modded, I bet you your Hux goes next, and then you
Well,
can do.
so what if Mara Jade does middle onto Hux and dispels dominance? Then they can do TM stuff.
But does it dispel dominance?
Doesn't it dispel?
I thought he had to be
it?
crit hit to lose dominance.
Well, I mean, it's, dominance is given. I thought it was given by advantage, and advantage is just a dispellable buff.
Yeah, the advantage gives it, but it's like he needs to be crit hit to lose it. Was what I thought.
Oh, okay.
I'll double check because I do have it open, but
All right.
that is something worth looking into because this is a really interesting team idea. Bout of the First Order. Dominance can't be dispelled or prevented and expires at the end of the turn whenever Hux is critically hit. So yes, it doesn't matter. So they will not have turn meter gain to start because Hux isn't getting crit hit from the bomb, or if he does, it still stops the turn meter until the end of that turn. So there is no TM on the bomb. So if you're going second, which based on what most people have Hux modded around with that plus 100 speed from First Order TIE Pilot, yeah, you're going second because that's going to put that would put mine at almost 400.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mara might go first, but we go in second.
Right.
Don't you also start with Foresight with the Omicron? Actually, yeah, Swampcrash. That's not a bad. That's also not a bad one. But I think
that's right. I forget about that. Yeah.
First Order TIE Pilot's going to start with Foresight, and he's going to give Foresight to the rest of the team to start. Yeah, with the advantage. So yeah, so you're going to have the Foresight. Anywho,
that's pretty slick, man.
Yeah, that's actually a great fucking idea. I'm like really, really excited to see somebody use this team now. It's
for sure.
Because that suddenly looks like a very, very good value Omicron, especially if that counter works. Because I mean that's about as good as you could ask for like a value of an Omicron and for 3v3. Because we know it's a valuable Omicron for 5v5. We already know that's going to be a thing. Yeah.
I see you, Dagger. I wanted to say someone in chat earlier said that Padme Ahsoka Mace was great on defense too, and I just want to say I used that once on attack this week against Iden, Storm, and Snowtrooper 56.
Yeah, it was a very, very good team.
Super good.
Yeah, that I watched that one, and that was one of those ones where I'm like, oh yeah, Padme, totally forgot about you. Yeah, it's like if you had the midriff, we wouldn't forget about you, but sometimes we forget about you.
Yep.
Every Padme existence gets Thrawn, Short, Nihilist for max banners. Yeah, but Dagger, we're talking about using him on. You were saying it was good on defense for him, but it was like we were talking about using her on offense just with those spare part GRs, and it's good. And before I used to use Ahsoka as like miscellaneous damage for Jedi teams, but now with Kyle Katarn not really having a home, Kyle Katarn with like JML works really well. He's got the double hits and recovery and stuff. So I mean, he does good damage. So even without the rebel fighters with him, he's still decent DPS for a secondary Jedi team. Kyle with Bastila, yeah, that'll do it too. If you don't have a Relic Ezra, that's a beautiful home for Kyle. You just drop
I've also used Kyle with JML. Very effective.
Yeah,
like Kyle, like JML with Kyle and Hoda. So if you get the master's training on Kyle, you'll have the bonus, the 50% potency, I think. And then if you mod him to have like a 2 set of potency, like what I have, it's about like 60% potency. So you have a better than even chance of landing your debuff from his third ability on Starkiller, which stops him from countering. You could make that even safer by using his first turn to do his second ability, gives him potency up on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's good uses for Kyle outside of Mon Mothma and
Oh,
Threes.
yeah, for sure. KB says, "What are you guys doing with Mon Mothma? I still found her to be helpful against GG teams using MM, Pow, and Kyle. So a lot of people use MM against Grievous in threes, and that's a really good use for her. She's a fantastic cleanup team, just straight up. If anything can be TM trained out, Mothma can pretty much do it. And it's the team's thick enough that can take some initial damage from a TM loaded team. But yeah, against Grievous is good. I like Kara against GG, but I know the kind of meta is Cassian and K2. Because you get the heal blocks and stuff like that from the bombs and everything.
Well, and you just have the infinitely refreshing taunt, and when they burst down the tank, ideally you just bring them back. The specific thing about K2 there, particularly with the Zeta, is that he permanently increases his protection by 1% every time he takes damage. And then Mon Mothma, when her basic is called to assist and everything, and she does that health and protection restoration, that is percentage based. So the amount he gets back grows over the course of the fight. And that means that over the course of the fight, you have a decent chance of finishing it with high banners.
Yeah.
So there's other Mon Mothma comps that I've seen that work against GG, but that is the unique benefit of that one.
Yeah. That's definitely two of those pilots are something I've been looking at more now that I've been using Rebels against the triple attacker in the arena. I was like, man, I would love to have a Relic Cassian's trio right now, just to beef it up a little bit, because sometimes Cassian gets a little bit smashed. when it gets left hanging out there a little bit. So yeah, kind of like the idea of fast Darth Vader lead with Talon and Set on defense.
It's something to try.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams with Vader that I think can do some good work. I like Vader with Larry the Death Lobster and Set as well. That one's pretty gnarly.
That's pretty neat. It's just Darth Vader still does amazing things
on offense.
On offense, guys. Yeah. At the end of fives here, at the end of last season, I wiped on a slacker team and killed I think I killed 2 people. So it was slacker, a tank, and first order officer remaining. And I cleaned that up with a Darth Vader team, right?
Yeah.
Here in threes against a Darth Revan Malik Talon team. Took that out with Thrawn lead, Darth Vader, and L3.
Yeah. And
just monstrous, man.
Yeah, and that's a pretty solid team there in terms of getting getting someone to spend something interesting, that the DR team, because it saves you from having to deal with Basti's corrupted battle meditation or the fear hitting Vader when she goes. So you don't have to check the speed on the second character. Basically, you're just is Darth Vader is Revan faster than my Vader? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, which is a mistake I made this week. I totally forgot about it, and I was going in against a slow Darth Revan, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Vader, I'll totally wipe this. This is a bullshit Darth Revan." And then I was like, "Oh fuck, there's no ferocity. God damn it!"
Yep.
Oh, bless.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You wanted me to mention about some other teams that impressed me. I mean, as far as defense goes, the classic CLS 2PO, C3PO, yes, you can Thridian it. There's other ways, I'm sure, to deal with it. But if you mod it with that, tenacity on CLS and then armor, I really like, defense mods. Just tons and tons of defense and protection with a tenacity cross on Chupio. And then you want C3PO to be fastest of all 3. That team has still performed here in this 3v3 all this time later.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that team.
Yeah.
Another one. This is one of Fatal's inventions. Is the Malik 1 speed faster than DR and having DR be fast. So like 351 Malik, 350 Darth Revan. It catches people off guard all the time. People try and trooper it and have issues, because if you clear the foresight off of Bastila with Dark Trooper's first turn, pretty much immediately after that is likely to be my Malik.
Yeah.
And then he's got Taunt up, and then you didn't kill Bastila, and now you have to hit Malik. What do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Loso's saying, is there any way to bounty hunter proof Lord Vader? No. No, there's not. No. Basically, it's like bounty hunters. So you got Fennec, you got Grief, and you take, if they've got Maul, you take Bam. If they've got if they got two tanks and one of them's like Crew or Ninces or something, you take Mando. I'm sorry. I mean, hell, you can take Bosk against the Maul comp and still win. But anytime they do not have a DPS with Lord Vader, you can go in with Fennec, Grief, and Mando, and just take it down to Pound Town, because there's nothing it can do to stop what's about to happen to it. You delete the other tank, you delete the other tank, and then you kick through Royal Guard, and it's just there. It is. It's over. Yeah. So no, there's no real way to bounty hunter proof Lord Vader. The only thing you can do is try to draw out their bounty hunters. Yeah, there isn't a resistant version that we found. Exactly. The only thing you can do is try to draw out his bounty hunters. Give him fucking 5 teams that he wants to spend bounty hunters on his front bottom, and then make him make some choices. Because if you're set on setting Lord Vader on defense, just prepared to get bounty huntered, because that's just probably what's going to happen. That said, Lord Vader kills so much on offense, especially solo. Why would you set him on defense? Like it's like when you set Sith Eternal, you're like, this might get cheaply countered, or they might get stuck on it, and you're just hoping that it gets stuck. It's like, no, just take Lord Vader on offense and thank us in the morning, because he's just gonna get bounty huntered.
Yeah, and just think from a resources point of view, like having a whole, like Maul is a really good team in threes.
Yes.
Like you having 2 teams from that, and like if you were going to set Lord Vader down, you should only do it with Maul, right? Because just going without Maul just seems kind of crazy. And then considering that even that doesn't stop bounty hunter shenanigans, just have 2 teams.
And Driven says, for those that's in lower ranks, is LV on defense safe if opponent doesn't have Fennec? Yeah, pretty much. I think Fennec's really the key there. So yeah, if they don't have Fennec, then they're not going to bounty hunter your Lord Vader. Do other things beat Lord Vader? Sadly, yes. It's like I'm trying to think of what was the other counter that cleans it up if there's no Maul. I can't remember, but I think someone said something. Anyway, but JML still beat it. They can go in at JML and take it down. Yeah, you saw DR beat it. Ooh, interesting. I did not know that. Oh, the double tank. Okay, yeah. If you set LV double tank, yeah, you'll get DR'd. I was just thinking. I was like, damn. I was thinking about trying Lord Vader solo against DR, so I'm glad I didn't do that. I was thinking there's like heal blocks and stuff there. Yeah, we should be able to get through. But oddly, I've been really liking the JMK solo against Darth Revan. Actually, that's been really good, because then I can set Cat with my Rey and use JMK on offense and use it effectively. Yeah, LV solos DRM. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, holy crap! Like Lord Vader, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, what Dagger's saying is right. Slacker at Lord Vader and C on offense are just free wins. You get 58s. Use them. The GLs that need other things around them are the ones you should probably be looking to set on defense. Like JML can catch people out on defense. I mean, in 5s he gets beat by a lot of teams, but those teams can't be, offer everything they need to beat JML in 3s. So so JML on defense in 3s is actually a really good move, and you don't have to set great stuff with them. You throw like Ezra and I don't know, Isla. There you go.
There's so many. Well, I mean, yeah, you like Dagger's saying you could use him to, with any Jedi to like draw out Sith Eternal. Alternatively, you could set him like with good Jedi in a back zone, and there's so many different ways to set teams that call for Sith Eternal up front, and then it's like all right, now what are you going to do with this in the back? Like you've used like the best stuff for going after it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty good strategy. I know somebody tried that against me, but I still had Sith Eternal, so that was me winning.
Yep.
But
You have to have the read on your opponent. Scouting is key there. I know that I've got to hop off sooner than later, but I wanted to pop out another couple of teams that I said worked well for me. I tried Bosk, Zam, Dengar, so I didn't know how useful Zam was going to be. Got a hold with that. What was the hold? Let me check. It was oh dude, he tried to boss Grief Mando that and lost. Straight up
nice.
got blown out. Cleaned it up with Hunter, Bad Batch Echo, and Tech.
I like it. I like it. That's a
Yeah.
good little team. That's something I actually might throw on defense. If I'm taking Bam on offense to go with my bounty hunters, if I think there might be a Lord Vader's just lurking, you know.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Nest and the Resistance Brothers. I wanted to say that team is feeling passe.
yeah,
Like you can wedge Han Chewie that, and I feel like you could definitely Wampa it too. My opponent did it for 58 against me. I saw that today checking the history. I was like, what? So I
yeah,
was like, I mean, I guess it makes sense. There isn't really much that could stop him aside from just raw damage.
yeah,
But yeah, so I think Ness needs a new home,
yeah.
and I think that Fin Fin Poe is going to become an attack team.
I was gonna say Finn the post sandwich on offense kills all sorts of stuff, so it's something that you can easily shift away from the defense. You keep saying you can't Wampa proof your board. It's all about what you want Wampa are happy with Wampa killing essentially.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, yeah, it's
yeah,
fine. But I'm saying, like, I could, if I wanted to keep setting the Resistance Brothers, I don't have to squander Nest there.
yeah, yeah. Nest can definitely go somewhere else where it can be a little bit more effective. I think I was actually kind of a little bit bothered that I didn't have Nest on offense a couple of rounds. You know, it's
Yeah,
there was a couple of times when I was like, wow, Nest would take this team down if only I had my Nest. Everything seems to be attack team now. Good defense is question mark question mark. Halo says. I mean, there's a lot of teams I think that are good on defense, but it's a weird one because you can't stop everything in 3v3s. There's so many like moving parts. You can't stop all these
yeah,
cheap counters. It's just more along the lines of if you set something that can be countered cheaply, and you set a bunch of teams that can be countered cheaply, then suddenly you've got a defense that can't get any holds. And 3v3 feels like you need to get about 3 holds to have a good win, a good chance to winning, because it's kind of drop city. Like I had a couple of drops on my first 2 rounds. Really, my second round, I think, third round. I'm sorry, I only dropped once, I think. But even Bam lead, yeah, Bam lead. Yeah, Bam lead does get beat by Iden, from what I understand. You just stun Chewie, and it kind of falls apart. Um, yeah, there's I don't know. It's really strange, and then there's teams that do well but can be wampa'd, and then the question is, do you set something up front that can be wampa'd and leave him like a juicy nugget and hope that he wampas it, and then in the back he has to find solutions to all these teams he could have wampa'd? Uh, you know, there's always counters for teams. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Mostly, I mean, you're right. You're right. Like, I don't think I set a hard defense last week, and I set the exact same defense every day or every round last week just to see what these teams kind of did and how people solved those problems. And I was getting enough drop. I was getting enough drops to win. Like, I went 3-0, and I'm top 75. Like, the fuck? Like, I'm ahead of Zareth. Like, how does that happen? Like, Taz to know the opponent is likely to, then stack up teams, draw counters. Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I like to do when I do scout is I look to see how they solve these problems, and then I'll see like what can I do that throws them off. Maybe they can come up with something and have a good solution to whatever I'm throwing at them, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know.
yep.
Yeah. But I know we need to let our guy go here pretty
Well,
soon.
yeah. I just want to see if there was anything else real quick to give out to the good people. JML, Qatar, and Hoda again did real well for me against EP Marjade Star Killer. I like that a lot. Let's see. Uh, Everybody knows about the Star Killer teams.
Pill says he's going to try Dash, Nest, and L3 for Science, first round of threes.
SL3. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, you still got the days there, so it can cause problems with Wampa, as we found out. It's like, and then other teams, Nest going in there, you could still Treya it pretty easily, but there's other teams that it might be a good draw for Treya that you could put like Maul Mandos in the back or something. Halftime's over. Best of luck. Also, PSA: do not set SK without EP and Mara. All right. Well, Dagger, dropping some knowledge.
It's easy to overwhelm it. Dagger did it last night. I was watching it. It's like, oh man, somebody was being clever, thought they were clever, setting like a Vader lead, and I forget who the other character was, but I think it might have been Zaris or something like that. Yeah. But it was boo boo. It just got rolled.
What did you use, Dagger? Vader, Zaris, and
right.
It was
Wampa. Oh God! Wow. How mad was that guy today when he checked his GG?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he was very upset.
Large mad.
Vanilla JKR team works on that too. Okay. Yeah, I mean JKR still solves so many problems. It's an old kit,
for
but
sure.
Man, is it a good kit? Like, we can't get too angry about that. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, oh yeah, for I'm sure everybody knows this. SIP trio for dealing with mall teams. You need to have good modding and stuff for sure. You got to have relics, and you have to be kind of on par, if not greater than, in terms of relics. But that means that if you're going to be closer to on par, you'd really want to have like good modding, because you can't be having your people get deleted. You could lose Scion, I guess, but losing Treya or Nihilus is bad times.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I was up against a Relic 8 Maul team, and the guy I faced in round 3 he had a disgusting account. He had 72 Relic 8, so he had Relic 8 Maul, Relic 8, I think it was Relic 8 Candy, and armor on defense, and his armor was Relic 8. Or Relic 7, at least. So Candy and Armor were at least Relic 7, but Maul was Relic 8. And so my Relic 6 and Relic 5 trio went in there and just absolutely spanked them. It was one of those things I didn't think about, the debuffs and all that, with the way that Treya's kit works, and I was just worried that Maul was going to straight up delete somebody, right off the bat. I was just like, oh God, if I lose somebody first couple of turns, this is going to be just ugly. And then, the team just kept holding. Maul kept doing his stuff. We just kept surviving, and then it was oh, by the way, you're all dead. Because it was just down. It came down to Maul, who was the only one that was kind of healing, and then we just straight deleted Maul, and it was okay, well,
beautiful.
Thank you for coming.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It was.
By the way, Dagger, if you're still here, what about I had to fight a crew, lobster trooper, and star killer team, so I don't think you'd want to try to Wampa that, friend. You can maybe pick it apart with something else, fine, but I don't think you're going to try to Wampa that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that crew team with star killer does seem kind of promising. Let me see if anybody's got that in this season so far. It's SWGoYeti has for us here.
For sure,
because that's actually one of the teams that I was a little bit curious about, because I know that EP, Mara, and Darth Bastila, it caught Tass out. I thought it was going to be easily handled with Han Chewie, because you take out Mara and then it just is no problem. But it just went.
Wedge Han Chewie, that did not pan out, man. That was a bummer.
Yeah. So that was. Let me just see. I'm looking through the crew stuff. Weird. I don't see anybody. I don't see a star killer. Oh, there it is. Crew red star killer. There it is. All right. The only team that shows it being beaten, 56 scene, won 100%, was Mara. EP Mara star killer.
Yeah, no doubt. It is the superior team, and the way to have the superior team is to have the most cracked out, fastest Mara Jade.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So some of my high end speeds just aren't there, so I just don't have that
Hmm.
option, sadly. But usually like the Star Killer mirrors are great if you go first, easy money. So there is that.
Yep, for
Um,
sure.
like that's something we can all agree on. We all understand. Um,
Hmm.
Yo, what's going on, JLA? How's it going?
What's
How's it
up,
going?
JLA?
We were just having a little chat here, getting kind of down to the wire with our boy Tass here. Um,
Yep. Yep.
just
I think and obviously now that we were talking about how like Qui-Gon Jinn, JKA, and Cam gets beaten by Newt, Django, B1, and some other things easily, like Hunter, Bad Batch, Echo, and Tech does the job.
okay,
There's
because
a
Tech
bunch of
does have the stun, yeah, so that would work.
right, and he'll
Yeah,
catch up all the turn meter, right? Because you're stripping all the foresights right out of the gate.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's there isn't a lot of value in setting that now. So it's a good split to do like Bastilicam and something. I only had one round to try it. I set it down with Ezra because at least if nothing else, my Relic 7 Ezra will hit pretty hard on his middle, and then his third ability, I'm hoping he'll call Cam, and that's never a good thing.
So,
But there's definitely merit to argue for a tank with that, and then you've got Qui Gon Jinn, JKA, and someone. You could have Ahsoka. You could have Mace.
well,
So.
yeah. So I'm just looking at it now. So that the Qui Gon team with getting hit by Hunter Echo Tech,
Hmm.
only a 70% win rate, and that's against
Yeah.
with a tank basically, and it drops to a 65% win rate when that tank is Mace.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, more assist is probably
Yeah,
bad, and
and
that
it's
ability block is bad.
44% against the cam variant. That's what we're seeing. Granted, SWGO.GG also has a lot of people who maybe don't know exactly what they're doing. Some
Right. Low win
servers
rates on GG do not necessarily
necessarily
mean
mean
it's
it
a bad
doesn't
count.
work. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's just a very nuanced count. It's
Yeah.
very carefully
The
done.
more complex it is, the worse the percentage will be on SWGO.GG because
No
it just
doubt.
pulls the
No doubt.
raw data. But
Cheers, JLA. Yeah,
it
enjoy
does
that
beat it.
drink.
Cheers, JLA. How you doing? Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of those kind of the funny thing with that. I still don't know what the best use for Ray is. I mean, I know Ray with armor causes some issues, and then like I was setting it with Cat, and sometimes got the thing. What's a Wampa? Dylar, it's my cat right here.
That's right. That's right.
Northern's gonna go eat some weed chocolate. Well, enjoy that.
Oh, GG. So, last 3v3, people were Mon Mothmaing GG almost exclusively. If you put Zaris in there, that shut that off hard, right? Um, the thing that I've seen now is people are like Mother Talsoning that. They're Mother Talsoning it with Zam in there. They're doing it whether you're doing it GG, B2, and Magna. And then we know that the other comps that are using like B1, uh, yeah, it's gonna still get beaten down by Mon Mothma. So like, there's only two really good ways that you can think of that I can think of rather to make it really unlikely to either Mon Mothma or Night Sister. So just trying to shut off the cheap counters. That's got to be like GG Dooku Nest or GG Django Magna or GG Django B1, something like that. But
Well,
yeah,
I was gonna say,
um,
what about a potentially like the Dooku lead for Grievous?
I thought so. Check this out. I asked a couple people this today that are really good players, and I was interested in what their responses were, and I'd love to hear what you think. And this will probably be the last question for me. I don't have to get going. But Treya, sorry, Dooku lead with GG and L3. L3 has the Zeta.
Yeah.
What do you take against that?
Uh, it's like first time seeing it, I'd probably overkill it just to make sure I get it dead in one. But
I only saw it the one time. Yeah,
yeah, it's
you
like
you tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I used against it.
The worry are the counter and ability blocks with Dooku for most things. With L3, it's going to be catching some flack. I think you can still bounty hunters that if you've got your bounty hunters available, because you get your contract on L3 and then you delete Grievous and then it's just whatever. And then, I mean, obviously you can super overkill it. You can do like a Padme comp or Jedi Revan or something, but you don't really want to go that big on Grievous in threes.
I like the idea of using Padme against it. That sounds cost effective. If I could make you reliably use bounty hunters there,
Then
like
that's fantastic.
you wouldn't be able to pick apart anything elsewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Padme would be my cheap counter to that.
Yeah.
And you'd have to do a decent Padme. It doesn't have to be amazing. You just need to have the ability to handle the taunt and to have some recovery. So I mean, I probably would use GK there with Padme just to make sure that Ahsoka's not going to be catching the stab from Grievous. But I think that's how I would go at it.
Like Padme GK Ahsoka, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's good. I just don't think my mace would be. I wouldn't rely on him to take a bunch of Grievous attention and still be able to do it. So, yeah, and I usually have GK available, so that's why I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably how I'd go about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I ended up using GBA Soldier Spy for 54.
Oh, nice. That's a
looking back,
low cost counter there.
Yeah, right. Looking back, if I had like more protection in the pool of the team, I might have, or even just a little bit. Actually, the better way to do it would just be like 15 more speed on my GBA, like get it close to 300. Because I was so close to GBA getting another use of its third ability, and I think that would have had it at 57.
Yeah, you would have full manners there.
But yeah, like your instinct was right, the same as mine. Like you see Dooku GGL3, it's like, okay, so the idea is if they get my protection off and GG gets to like do anything, it's just like super game over. Yeah. So what do we do? What do we do? And I thought about it and I was like, man, I can't commit too much. So yeah, Geos ended up being the trick.
Yeah.
But yeah, sir, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. I do got to take off.
That's it's great, guys. We did only schedule an hour for this, so I hope you guys were here and had some good chat and good chance to listen to this. We will be putting the VOD. I'm going to be passing it over to Tass to put on his YouTube, so go check it out over there. If you guys aren't already on Tasknext's YouTube, you should probably go check that out. As for me, my Discord is here. If you are not on my Discord, you should probably do that. We have a YouTube as well, but it's not. I just put my my VODs there. So for my GAZ hit, like, you know, VODs are going to be there, and also I will get back to the strat chats as I used to do, because, you know, obviously this is a format that I quite like, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So there's that. As always, we'll start.
You mind if I drop my links real quick just for my channel?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, duh. I can't do that command. Not on here. Isn't that funny?
I don't see anybody else streaming SWGO at the moment, so we might just shut her down. But we're gonna stop the recording, so I'm gonna shut the YouTube off. Thanks for watching YouTube. I hope you guys appreciate it over here on Tass's channel. You know, he's hosting it. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to Tass yet, you should probably do that. You can go to mine as well and subscribe to me, because, you know, why not? And you should hit the like, because, you know what, the algorithm likes those. So do that. Anyway,
that's right. Thank you so much.
Take care, YouTube.